My name's Chris. I'm one of the senior equity consultants at Vested. Just so you're aware, Vested, we're the UK's first and only regulated digital share scheme and equity management platform. And we also have two-way integration with Companies House. We're an FCA accredited business with two-way integration with Companies House, and all we deal with is equity and share schemes. So we are very, very much subject matter experts. But what I'll do is I'll get started now. So what we're going to talk about. Talk about EMI mainly. We're going to have a quick look at EMI and the benefits, the different steps to setting up an EMI scheme, announcing your scheme in style, and then we've got an offer at the end that we'll talk about. So EMI is the Enterprise Management Incentive Scheme. 9 out of 10 of our customers said that their EMI has helped them to recruit, retain, grow, and develop. So the three main reasons that people do share schemes is to recruit, to help recruit, to differentiate yourself, to offer a slice of the pie, to retain those key employees, and to reward them, be it through an exit or as the business continues to grow. So EMI, as I said, is the British government approved scheme. It's designed for UK SMEs, so it's fewer than 250 staff. It's limited to specific industries, and it can be made conditional on tenure and performance. So you're not giving anything away. They earn it through meeting the conditions. It's got fantastic tax benefits, not only for the individual, but also for the company. And as I say, it helps to motivate and retain employees. Now, I can testify to that because I had EMI. You know, it's the most tax efficient thing for me. So the eligibility, as I say, it's the British government approved option scheme. So there are obviously certain eligibility criteria. You have to be a UK company. You have to have less than 250 staff because it's aimed at SMEs. You have to have less than 30 million in assets because it's aimed at SMEs. And it cannot be majority owned by another organisation. It has to be in the top company. So there are certain industries that aren't allowed to do it. Banks, lawyers, accountants, property developers, insurance brokers, domestic care home operators, hoteliers, farmers, market gardeners, and shipbuilders. It's a fairly long list, but you know, as long as you're not in one of those industries. And the eligibility, you have to be a full-time UK-based employee. Full-time is classified as either 25 hours a week or 75% of my total work time. So even if I only did 1 day a week, as long as I didn't work somewhere else, I would still qualify for EMI. You cannot grant more than 30% of the business to an individual. And to get the full benefits, you've got to hold those options for a minimum of 24 months. Okay. Okay, I believe the chat's been enabled now. Not majority owned eligibility for the EMI scheme is you can't be owned by or controlled by another organisation. So it's got to be in the top co. So if, you know, if the top co, if the holding company is owned 75% by another organisation, it's not the top company. So it's not got to be, it cannot be owned by another organisation. Okay. So other organisations can be invested as long as they don't own the majority of it. So EMI is by far the most tax efficient thing you can do. So if we say, let's say we value your business at £1. Now an option is the right to buy a share at a predetermined price at a predetermined point in the future. So I'm given options today to buy a share for £1. So the option price, the exercise price is £1. Fast forward 5 years and the company sells for £10. I get £10. £1 gets taken off because I have to buy the option to turn it into a share. I'm left with £9. As long as I've held the options for a minimum of 2 years, I pay 10% capital gains tax. So I walk away with £8.10 per share. By far the most tax efficient thing you can do. So any gain over the value at the time of the award is only taxed at 10% capital gains tax. It's business asset disposal relief. Now that 10% capital gains tax is only on the first £1 million of my lifetime. So if I was lucky enough to make £2 million, £1 million of it would be at 10% capital gains tax. The other million would be at standard capital gains tax, which sits at the moment at 20%. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the company can also benefit from tax relief. Whatever gain that I make, which in this scenario is £9 per share, the company can offset that against the next corporation tax bill. So if one share is £9, if you've given me 10,000 shares, it's great. I've now made £810,000, but the company can now offset £900,000 against the next corporation tax bill. So it's incredibly beneficial for the company as well. And also, any cost associated with setting up or running an EMI scheme can be fully offset against the company's corporation tax. So all of our fees are fully offsetable against corporation tax. Okay. So unapproved options are the non-government approved. So you can see here, you can still grant unapproved options. That would typically be to subcontractors, non-exec directors, people who aren't full-time UK-based employees. But you can see there's a stark difference in what they get. £8.10 for an EMI option versus £4.95 in the exact same scenario for an unapproved option. That's why I'm very happy I have EMI. But if you're in one of the disqualifying industries, or as I say, you're not a full-time employee, then unapproved options are pretty much the way to go for an option scheme. So before I move on to setting the conditions, does anyone have any questions about the EMI options? No problem at all. So options, as I mentioned, the right to buy a share at a predetermined price at a predetermined point in the future. So the conditions can be anything you want. Typically, people use a lot of time a lot. So you could say, Chris, I'm going to give you 10,000 options. You earn them over 5 years. You get 2,000 a year. Every year, more and more vest, more and more vest, which is, I have to be there for 5 years to get the full benefit. The vesting is basically the timeline for what the employees gain full ownership. Incentivizes retention. To get all of them, I have to still be there in 5 years' time. Is an EMI scheme useful if there's no exit plan? Well, yes, because, if I'm granted options when the company's worth £1 a share and then it's worth £10 a share, I can buy my £10 a share for £1. I am then a shareholder. So the more the company grows, the more my shares are worth. Do I have the right to dividend at that point? So it's a great way to incentivize, and it's not one size fits all. You could give your senior leadership team 5% each, and then your management team 2% each, and then just standard employees 1% each. They don't have to buy them. It's the right to buy a share, not the obligation. So if they choose to buy in, that's fine. An exit is very common because there's no cost to me, because I'm, the cost of buying the option, I'm getting that money. So it's essentially a cashless exercise. So incentivize the retention. Incentivizes recruitment. If you're giving skin in the game, a sense of ownership, gives me forgive the pun, a vested interest in the future of the company. I have a corporate retreat next week. And when we had the corporate retreat 6 months ago, I sat and had a beer with our founder, who still runs the company. And we talked about, values and what it's going to be worth. The first thing I did when I came back was plug it into my calculator to see what my EMI options are worth for me. So I can attest that, they are very motivating. The conditionality, as I say, time is very common. It doesn't just have to be time. It can be any conditions, as long as they are measurable and tangible. They've got to be attainable as well if you want them to be incentivizing. It could be, and it's not one size fits all. Everyone can have different ones. So X could be your marketing director and you want 500 marketing qualifying leads a month. Y can be your sales. You want 1 million a year. Z can be who's going out to get his investment. A could be, all right, I'm bringing you in to build me an all singing, all dancing platform or website. As long as it's done by this time, then you get this. So it's all sorts of different conditionalities. So just in time for Christmas. I mentioned, it feels early to be talking about Christmas. We're still in October, but it's not something that happens overnight. So first of all, you have to be eligible. It's not a problem at all. You've got to design the scheme. So, it's a legal contract. So, if you're using the platform, we go through the scheme designer. It's 23 multiple choice questions. Is it exit-based or exercisable? What are the vesting conditions? What are the good leaver and bad leaver clauses? So a bad leaver always leaves with nothing. But a bad leaver is only gross misconduct, criminality, or breach of contract. What happens if someone leaves on not one of those terms? Do they still lose all of their options? They get to keep them. So, we design the contract. If you're, as I say, on the platform, we'll help take you through it and get it all filled out. You then need an HMRC approved valuation. So, it takes us 5 to 10 days typically to write your valuation from when we get your financial information. It then has to be filed at HMRC. HMRC typically take an average of 6 weeks. So you can see now why we're talking about getting it set up for Christmas. To do anything with equity, you have to follow the Companies Act of 2006. Okay, so you need written board resolutions and written shareholder resolutions to authorize things. If you're on the platform, we mimic your corporate governance. So you need to have an option pool, which essentially is the right to issue options. So written board resolution with 100% approval, written shareholder resolution with 75% approval. Now, we're a digital platform, so literally I would click 2 buttons. In real time, an email goes to the board. Do you pass this written board resolution to create an option pool of X? Everyone on the board clicks yes. Platform will automatically pass that, generate and send out the shareholder resolution to all the voting shareholders. 75% of the voting shareholders click yes. On that email, the platform passes it. You now have the right to issue X amount of options. When the HMRC valuation comes back, you have 90 days to issue them. So the valuation is only valid for 90 days, which is the HMRC law. So we've designed the contract, we've got the option pool authorized, so we then issue all the options. You've now got very happy employees. Now, you also have to do an annual notification to HMRC every July the 6th. Failure to do so could result in fines or, worst case scenario, the loss of all of those options. If you're on the platform writes the report for you and sends it to you with a step-by-step guide of where to upload it, when to upload it, and how to upload it. It then sends what I'm supposed to call an increasingly urgent series of nudges. The platform will nag you when that ARS report is due to make sure you get it filed in time. Okay. So just check and see if there's any more questions. So does anyone have any questions about the 6 steps to setting up an EMI? Well, I'm feeling very on brand with my vested mug and my vested hoodie today. All special for the webinar. So, key things you need to remember. The EMI valuation, if you're on the platform, we write the valuation for you. We're writing about 100 valuations a month at the moment. We then return it to you along with a VAL 231 form that's submitted to HMRC once it's been signed by an officer of the company. You have to do an annual submission to HMRC every July the 6th. That's your ERS reporting. If you're on the platform writes that for you and sends it to you. You need to notify HMRC of any changes, including granting new options, people leaving the company, or a company exit, which will typically result in the culmination of the EMI scheme, which means everyone gets paid and everyone is very, very happy. But if you're on the platform, it's all included. You need to ensure that the shares vest correctly. If it's over time, that's fine. If it, you can issue them. The vesting schedule can be front-loaded, back-loaded. It could be monthly, it could be annually, it could be biannually, it could only be on the last day. You need to update your legal share register and cap table if changes take place. So if an option exercises and turns into a share, you have to do all the filings at Companies House. If you're on the platform does all that for you. It's about making it as easy and simple as possible. So announcing your scheme, explaining it to your staff. I first got given options about 10 years ago. And on my first day, I signed a 30-page legal contract. I had no idea what it was. It was a scary legal contract that lived in my desk drawer. It didn't retain me. It didn't motivate me. It scared me. I left that company because I didn't know what it was. So announcing it effectively to show people what they have. So explain the scheme in your own words. What are you looking to do? I'm looking to share in the future of the company with you. I want you to have skin in the game. I want you to have ownership as well. What do the employees need to know about the scheme? Well, this is what it is. So when I sell the company, you're going to get X, or in a few years, you've got the right to buy in at this really low value, and you're going to get this. So explaining it to them. Explain the conditions. Oh, it's time based. You need to be here, or it's goal based. You need to hit this goal. What are the tax implications? You stay here, and when we sell, you're only going to pay 10% capital gains tax. Communicate the next steps, how to access their account and their dashboard, because we'll electronically invite them on. And at that point, we're going to show them the employee portal, which I will show you in a minute. So that's a fantastic gift. How wowing your employees for Christmas. I'm giving you a share in the future of the company. I want you to share in the ownership of the company. Now, bear in mind, they have to buy them. It's not free. They have to earn. They have to still be there. They have to have hit their goals. Otherwise, they're not getting them. It's not for nothing. We're a share tech platform, FCA accredited, Companies House integration, 5-star support. My support team are absolutely fantastic. They'll help you through. They'll help you do it all. Everything's in one place. Create the scheme, manage the option pool, design and then send out the option agreements. You've got real-time cap table, all the HMRC notifications you're reminded of and sent. You can build different vesting schedules, exercise shares. Now, when I say different vesting schedules, if you've got 10 people and you want them all to have different conditions, that's fine. It doesn't cost you any money. You just go through the scheme designer multiple times. It's just about making it as easy to do as possible. Exclusive offer. So as webinar attendees, give you 10% off the first 12 months if you join before the 1st of December. 1st of December is a great cut-off date, mainly because it's my birthday. But 10% off the first 12 months. Now, I'll get the my meeting link has just been popped into the chat. You can book directly into my diary and speak to me about this. There's no commitment to do so, but I'd love to have a chat with you about the circumstances. Everyone has different circumstances, and we can go through what might work for you. It's just a free consultation, and it is a consultation. I'm not here to push anything on anyone. Okay. Now, also, if you join, I have this lovely shiny new template that you can use to educate your staff, to show them what they have. Okay. Now, just announce it in style. For Christmas, I'm giving you a share in the future growth of the business. I want you to be an owner of the business. Merry Christmas. You can imagine how that's going to affect staff. You can book a free consultation call today, as I mentioned. So I've given you the meeting link, and it will also come out in the email. We'll get an email out with a recording of the call, which we'll send to you all as well. Okay. And I'll just stop that share there. If anyone's got any questions on that, and then I will show you the employee portal on the platform, because this, for me, is what really sets it apart. That fact that they can actually look at what they have. Just let me see. What's the annual cost? It depends on a couple of things. It depends on how much support you want. And it depends how many people you want to give it to. So we've got 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 40, 41 to 60, so on and so forth. All of the costs can be offset against your corporation tax. And all of the costs are also on the website. We're very, very transparent. You know, guided is the most popular in the first year because guided includes full support. So that's you doing everything with my customer support team. So it includes all of your corporate governance. It includes all the legal contracts. It includes the valuation. It includes all the portals I'm about to show you. Guided is about £4,000, but if you join before the 1st of December, you get that 10% off. Standard, you can still do everything on standard, just doesn't have the full in-person support. It's got video and FAQ support. But it's all there on the website. So, just something else with you. So this is the portal. This is what the employees see. So you can see here, this is Duncan Harrison's agreement summary. There's his legal contract. Now, I'm not going to click into it because it is literally a 25-page legal contract. It's not particularly interesting. You can see here, he has 10,000 ordinary options. They were granted today. He's earning them over a 3-year period. So he has 270, he's got 2.7% already. But he only benefits when the company sells. Okay. Now they've chosen monthly vesting here. He's got his first month, 270, and then after the full 3 years, he's going to have all 10,000. So he's got 1 month already vested, and there's 37 more tranches to come. Now, I really like monthly vesting. The main reason is every single month he gets an email. You own more of the company. And it also says, would you like to see what it's worth? And let me tell you, the click-through from would you like to see what it's worth is pretty much 100%. So, we've just done a valuation of £1 million. This bar just fills up as his options vest. It's just a little retention to it. Videos and FAQs. So, with £1 million valuation and 0% growth, his options are worth 4,401. Bear in mind, Duncan's got 10,000 options. This company has 2.2 million shares. So if we say the valuation is, say, 2.5 million. Okay, his options are worth 10,997, which after tax is 9,897. Basically, 10 grand with 0% growth. So what happens if the company grows 10% year on year? 17.7, which is just under 16 grand. 20% year on year? 27.3. Just over 24.5. Or, right, we're worth 2.5 million. In 5 years, we're going to times by 10, and we're going to sell for £25 million. They're now looking at 110 basically, which after tax, £99,000. Pretty good present to give someone for Christmas. Especially when they have to help you get to that. So for me to get, if that was me, for me to get that £99,000 after tax, I have to help the company get to that point. That's the motivation. So is there a minimum limit on the vesting period? You can grant options that vest immediately. Okay? As long as they don't sell them within 24 months, they would still qualify for the business asset disposal rule. So you could say to me, Chris, I'm going to give you 10,000 options. 5,000, you've been with me for 3 years already. So of those 10,000 options, 5,000 you have immediate vesting. And the other 5,000 you earn over the next 2 years. As long as if I exercise them at that point and become a shareholder, yes, I'm a shareholder. Do I have the right to dividend? Do I have the right to vote? That's a different conversation. But as long as I don't sell them within 24 months, I still qualify for the 10% capital gains tax on the first £1 million. So it's a fantastic way to motivate your employees. So does anyone else have any questions? With the budget coming up, it's worth saying that EMI was a Labour initiative. It was introduced when Gordon Brown was the Chancellor. It has remained untouched since then. Rishi Sunak, when he was the Chancellor, did a deep dive into EMI. And after several months and who knows how much money was spent, they decided to keep it exactly the same. So it's remained untouched for quite a number of different colour governments, shall we say. Has proven to help companies to grow as a fantastic way to recruit, retain, reward, and motivate your employees. So you've got my link in the diary, and my diary link will also come out in the emails. Yeah, I will send the recording out, Paul. I say if anyone wants to have a one-on-one chat, there's absolutely no it's not committing you to anything. Just happy to have a chat through, and anything we can do to help. Fantastic. If there's no more questions, I'll let you all get on about your wonderful Wednesday. And sounds very, very early to be saying this, but Merry Christmas, everyone.